I think everyone that's played Mario 64 had an initial burst of joy when they first hopped onto a Koopa shell. You move faster, can plow through enemies, and get a nice tasty jingle. So why don't we try playing the entire game with only a Koopa shell? Let's see how far we can get with that idea. This game was modified by K's Emanuar in one way. I can push down a button to spawn a shell. The only time I'm allowed to get off the shell is to go through doors or when starting a level. Grabbing trees and wall jumping is fine too, but I must always land on a shell after. Now, you can normally grab a Koopa shell and swim with it, but for some reason, I can't grab them when spawning the shells. So with that, we're gonna have to skip every water level. Flying is also fine in the wing cap stage as long as I hop onto a Koopa shell instead of the ground. And that's about it for rules, so let's get into it. Right away we can complete Lekatu skip. That's because Lekatu is only activated when Mario himself touches the bridge, so being on the shell bypasses that. So we'll of course start with Bob-omb Battlefield. Right away I went to King Bob-omb, and it turns out he's a little shy when I'm on a shell. Now I already knew he wouldn't be able to throw him, but I didn't realize we had to be on our feet to activate his text box. So at this point, I just started going for coins instead. I'm not sure if I can get 100 without the wing cap, but I might as well try. We can't get the Chain Chomp star either, considering we can't ground pound, or even attempt a bomb clip. After a few minutes, I got most of the coins and realized I wasn't going to have enough for 100, but I could at least go for the 8 reds. I needed to jump off this ledge at the very corner to get there, but I kept messing this up. I tried going down a floor and jumping from there, and I got more speed this way, but wasn't getting high enough. So I tried from the top again with more of a startup, and eventually managed to barely grab the tip of the island. Then I simply had to grab the red coin and make sure that I landed on the shell afterwards. I got a few additional coins on the island, but it still wasn't enough for 100. So I reluctantly grabbed the red coin star and moved on. Now, in case you're wondering about the star in this box, well, you actually can't break boxes with a shell on. I'm not joking. So I had one idea. Jump from the tree and ground pound the side of the box. After making the jump, I was a bit too far away to pull off the ground pound. So I tried jumping off with the handstand, and while I got closer to the box, you can't ground pound in the air after the handstand. So unfortunately, we'll just have to move on. I decided to try Peach's slide next, and for some reason, you go really slow down the slide. I mean, I expected to be blazing it, but there's something about the physics that's slowing us down. I made it down the slide only to remember that the main star is trapped in a box, so I tried again and went for the slide skip. I was a little worried I wouldn't have enough speed to get across, but I somehow did and was able to nab the second star. Next, we'll try Whomp's Fortress. I discovered you can take out piranha plants with the shell, which is gonna be really helpful for 100 coins, assuming we can get them all. At this point, I'm just gonna go for the coin stars first, since they're the most likely to be completed. I was worried about the red coin above the Whomp, but it was a lot easier to snag than I expected. The red coins were a bit tricky because I had to keep jumping to make sure I wouldn't break my shell. The circle of coins was challenging because I had to jump at just the right height and speed to get here without bonking. Thankfully, it's doable. Then I went to King Whomp, and he was also too shy to talk to me. So at this point, we're not even gonna attempt the stars that require us to talk to someone, since we know they're just not gonna be able to be done. Continuing on, I managed to barely swoop up 100 coins, as well as the 8 reds, so 2 stars are completed. Next, I wanted to try star 3, and this was gonna be quite the doozy. The star is close to this ledge, so I thought I could sneakily grab it, but I couldn't pull in quite far enough. My next idea was to use the pole. I thought I could jump off it and spawn a shell underneath me, but I couldn't get enough height for that to work. So I had one more trick up my sleeve. By building speed and jumping at the right time, I thought I could get closer to the star. I missed horribly the first time, but I kept on trying. Getting that correct angle was the hardest part, because I wanted to keep my speed, but also not bonk into anything. Well, there you have it. Game theory proven. And that's about all we could do in Whomp's Fortress. For the memes, I attempted Cannonless a few times. While I think I was hitting the right spot, Mario's hitbox is different with the shell, so I can't imagine this could work. Jolly Roger Bay is out of the question, so I went right to Cool Mountain. The slide star was really easy, although I'll admit that the physics were pretty wonky and I had to be careful. We can't bring the baby penguin to the big mama because there's no way to carry the penguin and ride the shell. I tested it just to be sure. So I went ahead and grabbed all the coins I could on the slide. Getting the rest of the coins were actually challenging because I had to climb myself back up the mountain without teleporting. I hit the fly guy by accident for some coins, but I could not build up enough speed to launch myself above this ramp. And this hill doesn't work either because I can barely turn Mario while in the air, so I had one option left. And that was to take the freaking ski lift. It works, thank God, but it was terrifying trying not to fall off. After grabbing the 100 coin and red coin star, that wraps up all we can do in this course. As for star 6, I was able to get myself in the area, but clearly there's no method to grab the star. 8 stars in hand, we can actually try out Bowser in the Dark World. The first 2 red coins required very precise and small jumps as it was easy to slip off and fall. The Ferris wheel was also giving me issues because I couldn't jump on them while they raised up. Instead, I had to do the sketchiest loop of my life so the platform would move closer to the next segment. After the red coin star, now was my chance against Bowser. But of course I have no way of grabbing him, so unfortunately, it is not possible to beat Super Mario 64 with only a Koopa shell. And you know, I didn't really think this challenge would work to begin with. I just wanted to see how far we could get. So let's go ahead and try the rest of the courses with a 100% save file. Now look, I know it says 175 stars. I've recently switched computers and don't have my old saves, so please spare me for using a code just to get to the other levels. Anyways, I thought we'd tackle the wing cap stage first. After getting the red coins, I tried stomping on the switch to find that the text box doesn't show up, again because I'm not actually touching the ground. Big Boo's Haunt was next, and I learned something really intriguing about the shell here. You can actually take out the boos with it. I was not expecting that to be a thing at all. Before figuring that out, I was really struggling with this red coin. A basic jump didn't make it up here, and for the other red coin in this room, I used the plank for extra height. So I tried looping on this plank for some speed and jumping across, but I wasn't getting quite close enough. That's when I realized that I could just do this loop closer to the star and get barely enough height for the coin that way. This allowed me to get the red coin and 100 coin star. The second merry-go-round star was stupid easy since I'm basically invincible against these boos. Now, sadly, I'm not going to be able to get stars 5 or 6 because I have no way of getting to the balcony for the boo and eyeball fight. For star 3, I tried to hit the books to move forward, but I wasn't able to touch them and I kept bonking off the shell anyway. So instead, I did the tiniest loop I could and flew my way to the star, bypassing the library entirely. And that's about it for Big Boo's Haunt. Going into the basement, I spotted Mips, which made me upset because I can't grab him and the other Mips for a star. I also can't enter Vanish Cap and get the red coins because there's water obstructing my way from the level. And before entering Hazy Maze Cave, the 3 Toad stars also aren't obtainable. That is a lot of stars we can't do. So let's see how HMC goes. Star 1 was by far our easiest one yet. I literally just jumped up the little molehill and grabbed it. Then everything went to shit. I started grabbing 100 coins and preparing to go for the reds, only to not be able to get up there. Not only was it really easy to bonk on the stairs, but I also couldn't build up enough speed to reach the lift, even after trying a loop. So that means I can't even get 1 red coin. And that blue coin switch won't be possible either, so 100 coins is just out of the question. I decided to see if I could reach the doors in the maze for stars 4 and 5, and of course I can't. My jump doesn't even get close. Both of these doors didn't work, so I decided to try Watch for Rolling Rocks. Star 6 wasn't possible either because my jump wasn't even close to high enough for the star, so we only managed to get 1 star in Hazy Maze Cave. Yikes. I tried out Metal Cap and was able to get 4 of the red coins, but the other 4 are in the water, so this one can't be completed either. Lethal Lava Land, on the other hand, was a breeze. Stars 1 through 4 were extremely easy as they were out in the open, or I just had to knock out bullies. Stars 5 and 6 were a bit harder though. While I could make all the jumps up above, I had to be really careful to not fall off by accident. The 5th star required me to land on a shell after jumping off a pole, and then I was set. The 6th one was a lot more annoying though, as I had to stand on the lifts as they slowly took me to the star. 1 more pole jump and I was pretty much set. Every star here was actually possible. Shifting Sandland started decently, since you can't hit Klepto for the first star, and the second one is sitting out in the open. The 3rd star required me to climb up the pyramid, and it actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Although not bonking my shell here was a pain in the butt. And then all that was left was 1 more jump. Oh, you've got to be kidding me! I climbed all the way up this pyramid only for the final ledge to be too high. So I decided to go for the star from the top of the pyramid, and that didn't work out either. So much for that, I guess. All that was left to try was 100 coins in Star 6. I knew I wasn't able to get the red coins in the air, so Star 5 was out of the question. As I was wrapping up all the coins I could get, I realized I wasn't going to have enough for 100. That's because I can't hit the blue coin switch, and a lot of coins are trapped in boxes which I can't break open. Thankfully, Star 6 is pretty easy. The secret 5 coins are a snap to grab. Now, obviously, I can't get any stars in Dire Docks, so we'll just go right to Bowser in the Fire Sea. Some of these red coins required some serious swag strats to pull off, like jumping off this pole while jumping and hopping on the shell. It was the only way to get up here. The star was also kind of tricky to get because it was perched so high up in the air. I basically had to grab the pole, then wall jump off these walls until I felt comfortable enough to pull out the shell for landing. This was a really tricky level, but also a lot of fun. Now, I know that Wet Dry World is technically a water level, but since you can raise the levels, I figured we'd try it out anyway. I realized Star 3 can't be done because I can't move this box or the other one for the secrets. Star 2 isn't possible because it's trapped in a box, and the same for Star 1. There's not nearly enough open-ended coins for the 100 coin star, and Stars 5 and 6 are unreachable. And finally, Star 4 has a box we can't break, so none of the stars here can be completed. Snowman's Land was a bit better though, since Star 2 was just pushing off the ice bully. Something cool about Star 1 is the snowman doesn't notice you and you can bypass him easily on the shell, but that doesn't matter much because the ledge is too high for us to reach. Star 3 required me to climb up this hill and jump off of it for a burst of extra height and speed. I can't believe this actually works. It was really satisfying to pull off. While you can reach Star 4 pretty easily, it's once again trapped in a box, so it's not possible. Now obviously Star 5's red coins can be done because you normally use a shell for this level, but you can't quite get 100 coins. We'd need to get into the igloo for the rest of them, but we can't do that without getting off the shell, so that also means Star 6 can't be done. Moving to Tall Mountain, it honestly was way better than I thought it would be. I mean, look at this. You can literally just jump to the Lonely Mushroom and nab Star 6. And Star 1 was just climbing up the mountain, and that was it. Now, Star 3's red coins and 100 coins were possible, but really obnoxious. That's because it was really easy to fall off the slide. Again, the controls are wonky on the slides. Star 5 just required the box so I could get behind the waterfall without bonking, and that wraps Tall Mountain up. Next was Tiny Huge Island, and Star 1 was pretty simple as I just had to take out the plants. I went for Star 4 next, and nabbing the secrets was easy enough. I even went for this terrifying jump to get the star, and thankfully didn't die. While Star 2 was easy to reach, I forgot that it was in a box. All that was left to try was the 100 in red coins, and getting 100 coins was actually pretty tough. Since I can't ground pound the Goombas for blue coins, I'm stuck with getting every single obscure yellow coin. This also includes the Goombas on the tiny island, which was more than nerve-wracking. But I got just enough coins before going for the reds. The first 6 were easy, but the 7th one almost didn't seem doable. I basically had to build up speed, then jump in the perfect direction so I could barely make my way up. So while I could get 100 coins, the last red was too high up, deeming the red coins impossible. All that was left to do was the top floor levels, and we've run into a big problem. I can't actually reach Tick Tock Clock, Rainbow Ride, or Wing Mario over the rainbow. So unfortunately, I can't even attempt these levels. I guess all that's left now is Bowser in the Sky. The first red coin here was a little tricky as I had to carefully land on this block and jump for the coin. That was the least of my problems though. I had no way of getting to the platforms above the Ferris wheel. I tried jumping from the Ferris wheel, but just couldn't get enough height this way. So I moved to the other side, and that didn't work either. I mean, look how close this gets. The shell just barely can't snag the edge. So that means we can't get all the red coins here. Well then, that was kind of a disaster. Out of all 120 stars, only 39 were possible. That's 1/3 of the entire game. While the Koopa shell's a lot of fun to ride on, it really isn't that practical at all. I'm kind of surprised 30 stars even were possible. I was expecting even less. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks a bunch for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time.